A long, long time ago, there lived a beautiful princess named Andromeda. She was the daughter of King Cephas and Queen Cassiopeia, who lived in Joppa. Andromeda was as kind as she was beautiful, but her mother had a bad habit of boasting. Cassiopeia boasted about her daughter's beauty all the time. She bragged about her daughter to all her friends, neighbors, and even to the folks working at the palace. One day, the vain queen had bragged that her daughter Andromeda was more beautiful than the Nereids, the sea nymphs. The Nereids were the daughters of the sea god Poseidon. When they heard this, they were very angry and decided to teach Cassiopeia a lesson. So they went to their father and started complaining. Poseidon at first ignored them, as he had better things to do. After all, he was the god of the sea. But his daughters kept whining about the queen and her daughter that it became quite hard to ignore them. Poseidon had enough by now, and one day, in a fit of rage, he flooded the city by the sea and sent a huge sea serpent. The people of Joppa were terrified at the sight of the huge sea monster. They started running around to save their lives. The desperate King Cephas appealed to Zeus, who suggested the sacrifice of Andromeda as the only way to appease the angry sea god. Cephas was shocked to hear this, but he had no other option to save the city. When it finally dawned on him that there was no other way, he ordered his daughter to be chained to a tree on a cliff near the sea. And there she stood, the beautiful and kind Andromeda, chained by the sea, waiting for the sea monster to eat her. That day, Perseus happened to fly by the city of Joppa and saw Andromeda chained by the sea. Perseus is one of the greatest heroes of Greek mythology. He was the son of mighty Zeus and mortal Danae. Perseus is also said to be an ancestor of Hercules. He stopped by Andromeda, who told him what happened and begged him to save her. Perseus had fallen in love with her at the first sight, and he promised to save her. Suddenly, the sea monster emerged from the sea, licking his lips at the prospect of having a delicious meal. Perseus wasted no time. He swooped down with his magic sickle and battled the sea monster to the death. Andromeda was impressed, and naturally, she fell in love with Perseus. When he asked her to go along with him to his country, she insisted that they get her father's permission for marriage first. Perseus met the king and sought his approval for marriage. The king was surprised and happy to hear that Perseus had already killed the sea monster. The king was also mighty glad to hear that his father was Zeus, the king of all gods. He gladly agreed to the wedding. After the wedding festivities, Perseus sailed away with Andromeda. They headed for his home in the city-state of Argos, where they lived happily ever after. As for Cassiopeia, she was no longer allowed to boast about anything. This was by the king's order.